do's and the don'ts. We find that the young girls are really an endangered species in our country today.
Right.
And what can we do during such a holiday? Because the holidays will come every other year, these long December holidays.
Right.
What can we do so that we can save our girl child? I'm talking of the girl child because of what we are seeing. And we can also be able to use this time to talk to the young ones, because they are going to be the older girls and boys tomorrow, so that things can be better. There are many camps or many places, not only the places of worship. We have got social places where counselors or maybe mentors have organized, and they are talking to these young souls. And one thing I would like to talk to our girls, just to mention, and parents also, they will have to emphasize on this. We have to ask ourselves, why are we finding our girl child being targeted when they grow up a bit? How can we help them at this age so that they don't become the victims at that time? And having talked to quite a number of young people, the boy child is crying. And the boy child is crying because during the time that maybe they were growing up, they were not taught on how to make friends. And so the boy child, and I'm talking to that boy child, they know that to make a friend is just as good as buying a friend. Meaning, the young men whom we have today, they spend so much in order to win a girl. And you see now, because
money-wise, that is.
Not only money-wise, even gifts. Some of them go to an extent of stealing so that they can please the young girls. You get the point? Instead of knowing that friendship should be natural, friendship should be simple, but friendship should have authenticity. Now, what I mean here is, when these boys and girls grow up, and you see now the boy child knows, for me to get a good friend, I will have to have some money in the pocket. So they invest in that friendship. If by any chance, note that legally they are not husband and wife. If the girl fights another friend and jilts the earlier one, this other boy, knowing the much they have invested, they end up doing some funny things to the girl. So what I'm saying, a time like this, during the holiday, we can put our young people together. Let us train them, because we can see it's so dangerous, and at times it makes somebody feel very bad when you hear every other time a young girl has been thrown in a certain coffee plantation, a young girl has been,
killed.
All these things, they are very bad. And I am telling the Kenyans and even every other person who is watching this show this morning that this is a time, the 2 months that we've been given, we can talk to our young people. Let us train them, first of all, on the need of life. Life is more important than money. Life is more important than love. Even if maybe that young man had a friend and he had invested some money, if he got guilted, he should not mind. Let it be. We have to train them on how to make good friends. Because now, the moment we keep quiet, we know that life will have to continue. And if life continued and we have not trained them on how to do it, then we expect this to continue happening. And somebody said, if we continue doing things the way they are, the more they will remain the same. So I would say, parents, this is a time that we need to ask ourselves, is it only that we need to take our kids for remedial lessons to learn about mathematics and chemistry? When are we going to train them on issues to do with life? Can we take them to places where we know that they are being trained by the people we trust? And I want you to get this one very well, because now even the ones we might take them for training might also be bad people. Yes.
So you have to vet these people.
You have to vet them. You have to be very careful, because the moment now, Remy, you take your kids to somebody maybe who is not morally right or upright, you expect the same values, bad values, to be put in that. But this is a very good time for us to help our young people. Do you know we're having 4 killers of our young society today, which can be handled in those areas? One, our young people have been enslaved by this gadget, the phones. And through the phone, all sorts of evil are going on. And instead of using a phone like what Dr. Paul does, mine is for communication and business, theirs is just maybe for communication, doing other funny things, and they invest a lot of time there. Meaning, almost 70% of the time of our young people during the holiday is spent on this phone. And I would like to challenge even the people who are watching us now. How many are not even paying full attention because they are on the phone? And this phone, you see, like now we are together in the studio. Instead of us talking the way we are talking, if I got into my phone, I will start communicating with my friends in USA, knowing how Trump defeated his competitor last week and how things went on. But our young people need also to be reminded that through this, they are learning a lot of funny things, very many bad things. Number two, which is killing our people, and you as a parent need to take care of this, the work ethics. Most of our young children, and I want to say this without any fear of contradicting myself, they have become very lazy. They have become very lazy. And so now, this is the time I had mentioned earlier that we need to help the young ones to learn about the value of work. The bigger ones also now, we need to give them appropriate tasks and let them know it is not a punishment. It is not a punishment. Because sometimes when they are given some work to do, you find that they take offense. And by the way, my young person, let me call you my Gen Z, the moment you take offense when you are given a task to do, you are losing an opportunity to grow and develop. That is very important. The third one, which is very critical, and I would like everybody to pay attention to this, is this thing we call the relationships. You find that even the students now, because we are talking of the teens and the ones who are in the higher ages, the moment they close the school, most of them, their mind is geared towards their relationships.
And why do you think that is?
One, the developmental stage. And it is not a crime. It is not a crime for a boy to have a girlfriend and a girl to have a boyfriend. The only crime I would say, and this one I would also say, anybody who would take it badly, because some people take things like that. The only relationship we would say is evil is that one of a girl and a girl, a boy and a boy. I will not elaborate because of the policies of the studio, but I would like you to know that naturally, if a boy gets a girlfriend and a girl gets a boyfriend, and they are trained that to have that relationship does not mean that they have to do bad things. No, they can support one another, because now, at that age, a girl will feel more attracted towards a boy will feel more attracted towards a girl. But that does not mean that they end up doing wrong things. By wrong things, I am not elaborating because we are having all the ages here. But you can use that relationship to make you people grow, and the parents can take the advantage even to develop the family values and tell them, if when you grow up, you will get a person who will listen to you the way this one is listening to you, you will be a lucky person. Because today, how many young marriages are going beyond the 5 years? That's why I'm saying the issue of relationship is very critical. I
see. Let's also look at this dynamic on parents now, on the parents, which is some parents are giving their best. Most parents, of course, in the way that they can, are giving their children the best. But sometimes there's a caveat in this, which is they do it when they're guilty. In the case, maybe they've not spent a lot of time, so they try and bombard this child, and just do, things out of, I wasn't able to do this, but let me give you this. So of course, some kids are smart, and they're able to get that, and then they use that to their advantage. So you find that there's a push and pull here, and it's not healthy. So no one here is getting the best out of each other, because this parent is guilty doing this particular act, just trying to show, some affection to the child, and the child is guilt-tripping, the parent. So you're not having then a holiday that is healthy. In that particular scenario, what should, a parent do? Or how should they logically look at something instead of saying, okay, I'm going to give this child all this at once? And the kid is smart. They know what is happening here.
Thank you very much, Remy. And I know many parents have loved wherever they are, because they know that it's exactly what they do. I would like us to advise them that the first thing is every love, everything that you do to your child, let it be genuine and authentic. The moment now you do something in order to hide something else, you will not be helping that child. And it is good for the children to be trained from as early as possible that not everything that is gotten by another group or maybe other families that will be gotten in your family. We are very different. And so now the comparison should not be there. So as a parent, do what you can at any given time. And if by good luck you get some resources, don't do everything at a go. Because now the child will know this is the time everything is there. And you see, just like the way Israelites had the manna at the wilderness, they were only eating what was supposed to be eaten for that day. So if maybe you start doing so much for this young one and you want to maybe to hide a certain face, you are not being authentic, you are not being genuine. The best thing I would say, right from the formative age, let us be people who are able to get the conversations in our families. Let this child know when the parents have and when the parents don't have, and what they should be, how they should behave. Because now, at times, even as we are growing up, we didn't have the luxury of even taking sugar. We didn't have the luxury of going to the films, although I remember where I come from, every 12th of every month we would get the films which would be brought to the main fields. Watoto kaeni chini. From where you came from, did you hear of such? It was like a public film which was being brought at night. And the kids, because you know by then we were young, the kids were supposed to sit down so that the grown-ups would sit behind them so that there's nobody who is hindered from seeing. So what I'm saying here is, even during the time that we were growing up, some of the things which our parents could not afford were actually made to be known to us by nature, not by the parents. But because we're having a new generation, it is very good, Remy, for the parents to be talking openly to the children. Let them know. At times you can even lose your job. Let the kids know, oh, mommy and daddy, this time they don't have job. And so whatever we have to scale. We have to do with if we were taking a lot of sugar, we will not be taking sugar. If we are buying toys, we will not be buying toys now. If we are buying brand new ones, we will be going for XUK. Are you getting this?
Yeah,
so that they understand the real life. But the moment we want them to be like the neighbors, I am telling you, that comparison is burning even the older people, not only the children. So during this holiday time, I would say that the parents have a lot of responsibility. And if you look at it the way you put it, the quality time will make the best personalities. It is not just a matter of saying, I want my child to be a grade A or maybe the best child in class or in school. No, they can be number one, but they refer in life because they don't know how to socialize. They don't know how to do some of these important things. And they also don't know how to defend themselves in case bad things happen to them.
Okay. Let's still stick a bit on quality. Now, not every activity that is supposed to get a child thinking or, you know, active or give them skills is a good activity. Some of it is actually very boring. Some of it is actually very redundant, you know. Now, for example, if you're giving an 8-year-old maybe activities of a 5-year-old, something that they're well past just to occupy them, that is not going to edify this particular child. So how are you supposed to, as a parent, be able to be well informed on the kind of activities and things that you're going to give your 5-year-old, your 2-year-old, your 8-year-old, your 16-year-old, so that they are well occupied, and things that you've actually considered, not undakwa nani, unampatia pale, ajipatie shughuli, something like that.
No, that's very important. In fact, let's make it very clear to all the parents that any activity given to these children at this level, it must be age appropriate. That is key. And we know there are those activities which can cut across the age.
Yes.
And things like sports. Let's say you've taken them for swimming, you've taken them for ball games and so on. You've made some of them to play the chess, and others are playing the dart and everything else that maybe the parents can. But what you have asked is very key. How can some of the parents, I'm saying some because others know the age-appropriate activities? I would propose this. If your child goes to a certain school and you don't know the exact activities that you might want them be involved into, talk to your teachers, because the teachers, even during the holiday, their numbers are on. The teachers will always be there to help. And in fact, teachers are also the same who come to some of the homes for this thing they call the remedial and the tuition.
Yeah.
The same teachers, you can ask them now. Now, I need my child to do an activity. What can you propose? Please ask the teachers. But I would say, don't let the teachers do it for them, because this is the time for you as a parent. We want you to offer quality time, and if there's an activity, let it be quality time and age-appropriate activity. The teachers can. Others, like the counselors, can help. And there are very many now. There are very many, even in the places of worship, you hear that somebody has a diploma, another one has a degree, the other one has a, so many have been trained. And I also mentioned that we have got some camps, or maybe some holiday organizations, or maybe projects which are ongoing, where these kids can be taken, and the people who are handling them now, even if you went there with your child, you'll be told this is the activity that you are going to tackle, maybe on your own, or maybe together with your child, or maybe 3 of you, that is the teacher, the child, and the parent. And they're all meant to make the parents and the kids bode well.
Okay, let's take a look at developing those talents. When you're here the last time on My Friday show, we were speaking about the CBC system and it empowering young ones to basically develop talents in the arts, or sciences for that matter, sports, whatnot. And some parents still don't quite understand how to bring that out, because talent is something that one nurtures, and it can be easy or complicated. For some young ones, you may see it on the forefront. They may play rugby really well, they may play tennis really well, they may sing, dance, all those things, but there are some talents which are hidden, and they need some special form or care before you even bring an expert into this child's life for you to realize that. So how does one go about it, especially when you want to have that one-on-one mentorship with your child to basically bring this out?
That's a very good question. The first thing I would remark on is the vision every parent has for their children. You hear many parents saying, oh, I would like my child to be a doctor, I would like my child to be an engineer, and so on and so on. Many big titles. And that is where we start losing the mark. And we fail to identify talents even at an early stage that you've mentioned. Just because I would like my child to become an engineer, and I am not even sure the requirements excuse me, of this child to become an engineer. If I know that this child does not perform well in sciences, does not perform well in mathematics, no matter how much I push them towards maybe being engineers, might be out of utility. If my child does not perform well in languages and performs well in maybe sciences, I should now start knowing that my child is moving to a certain direction. And more so, we normally say that if you want to succeed in your career life, and you want your child also to succeed in their career life, you must now start looking at the vision, at the forehead, what are they going to be? But now in between, we have got so many things to do. I would like to take our parents back to when they were in Form 2, and they were made to select some subjects and leave out some. Why do you think that was done? It was because the school wanted the children to identify their strong areas so that they could move on. And as they moved on, you realize that when you go to college or to the university, you drop other things and you move on. Meaning, even as we are guiding our learners to develop the careers that are natural to them, we must know that we have to make it broad for them so that they can be able to select. Please, it's good for parents to understand. A child who is not doing very well in mathematics today, this is not a contradiction. This child might not have been handled well by a teacher. Maybe in 3 years' time from now, this child will look like a genius in mathematics. So we guide them. Let's show them that mathematics is never hand. English is never hand. Let's not, at the early years, start making choices for them. Let us make it a broad area for them to select. And as we now start looking at the competency that they are having, we try to encourage them. But if you found that your child is so much geared towards a certain area, a certain competence, not about the academics, but now according to the talent that one is portraying, it's good for you to start nurturing that one. I'll give you an example. If a child is a good guitarist and they can play the guitar well, you have to understand that that is a skill which is difficult to get, and at times it's a talent to them. And you know, it might not be what they will use for their long life, maybe for their living and the rest, but it will be good for part-time, even for enjoyment. You go on to the sports, you might find that your son or your daughter is very good in football, and they play it well. Even though they are playing that ball well, they might also be doing well in other areas. So encourage them, because we are not sure at the finishing point what will be best for them. We continue encouraging them in areas that we see that they are doing well. And if you find that they have got negative attitude in a certain area, as a parent, as a mentor, it's good for us to encourage them, because there are so many people who started the way Remmy started, and they would have been as good people in studio the way you are, but because nobody encouraged them, they gave up. Oh, I cannot make this, I cannot make this, I cannot be confident in front of a screen, I cannot be able to, you know, even to interview a doctor like Paul. You see, like now you are courageous and you can ask very hard questions. Imagine how many talents like yours were stifled just because people did not do what was supposed to be done. Meaning, because at the young age, the kids have got, let's say, they have a wide field to select. Let us encourage them to do as much as possible. And you know, specialization has not come at that age. Let me put something from the question you put earlier. At CBC, we know that the career pathways are only selected towards grade 10, that is the senior secondary, the senior school. All along from baby class, you go on to primary, you go to junior secondary or junior school. They are still trying to do things of identification. They are trying to know what can I do, and so on and so forth. And this is something which has been very well done by KICD. Because if you look at the career pathways model, you will realize that between the playgroup and grade 3, grade 3 is where we normally enroll these kids into now the NEC portal. We can start even uploading their practical and theoretical scores, so that we can start following up. But that is now an area we call discovery time. They are trying to discover themselves. So you might not take it so seriously, but it is very important.
I see. Let's take a look at also parents who, they are so passionate, and sometimes it's a catch-22, because they want or rather are living vicariously through their children. So if I never wanted to be, I maybe wanted to be a doctor, and I have, my kid is intelligent, and so far he or she is getting everything right in sciences, and you know, good mathematician, you know, good like everything in chemistry, physics, what biology, everything that it takes for you to be a doctor, and you just keep pushing them that way. But like you said, so let's take it for example that they've had the advantage of having good teachers. So this kid has no inhibitions, but your dream as a parent was to be a doctor, but you're not. So you're living vicariously by pushing this kid. So you do not have an issue with paying the fees or taking them to the biggest, you know, institutions, even John Hopkins in the US, you know.
Or a Sharp Education
Yes,
Center
exactly.
in Kayole.
Yes, to just make sure that they're there, you know. So how does that work? Because now you find the children becoming big doctors. And then you find someone at even 35 or so quitting the profession and saying this degree or doctorate was for my parents. And it's later on in life. And we're finding very interesting cases. And I've seen that for like some big names that we even admire in society who, you know, end up doing that. And vis-a-vis now, just leave us, you know, here who we're discussing about this in a very, you know, natural, normal way.
That's a very, very critical observation and very key. The other day, we had a similar thing just in Kenya. where the parents pushed their child to doing medicine. The child was bright, but the child wanted to do aviation. So after 5 years of struggle, the child even had first-class honors in medicine. Oh. Yes, and the parents were happy. There was a lot of celebration.
Yeah.
Things were good.
And Dr. Paul, I'm just informing you that we are about to wind up. Okay. So as you put that, I know there's still so much to talk about. Just put that all into context as you wind up.
So now this child, after graduating, did not actually want even to go into the medical field. After now the celebrations, the D-Day says, yours, now can you allow me to go and do my aviation? You can imagine. So what I'm putting, or how I'm putting it in a nutshell, is parents must let the children be. And this is why you can find that your thumbprint is not the same as your child's. Everybody has got their liking, and your liking is not the liking of your child. So if you let them identify, guide them. Guiding them is key, but let them identify, what one might want to be, what one might want to take in future. Because now, a child might have a very different dream from what you have. And then, when you force them into getting, either directly or indirectly, what you wanted yourself to become, you cannot force a personality out of yourself into another person. You people are different. And so, my parents, during the holiday, I would like you to make your, first of all, make sure that you expose your kids to as many issues, positive issues as possible. If you are a farmer, let them do the work that you do in farming. If you are a teacher and maybe you are engaged into other things, don't limit your kids. Let them do as many good things as possible. But remember, your child remains an individual, different from you. And that's why even when they grow up, they cannot use your thumbprint to withdraw your money.
All right. Dr. Paul, thank you so much.
Thank
you for coming in today and, of course, discussing this matter because it's quite, a key issue in regards to how to keep our children busy, what they need to do, and it's a wide topic. So you see like how we've gone to from the quality time, how it looks like, and then the quality activities, and then we've also reached about, talked about developing talent and the same. So we'll still get another moment where we can have this conversation, but for now, let me say thank you so much for coming.
Welcome. I wish our viewers a good day and a blessed one.
Thank you so much. Right, our guest this morning has been Dr. Paul K24, National Secretary, UpBet Schools. Thank you so much for watching Morning Vibe. My name is Remmy Majala. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Mr. DJ
Lucky. When it comes to playing the best music videos, we've got you covered. K24 TV Mix Master. When it comes to a lineup of all the fresh DJs, we've got that too. Yeah! Check this out. Caribbean, Afrobeat, our famous and infamous Kenyan jazz.
By the way, let me tell you mine.
And all the hits from across the globe.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
This is the Beatbox. Monday to Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. only on K24.
Step into a world of emotions, relationships.
Kumbe mama, ulikuwa unafikiria kuolewa tena?
Yaani unijali hata kidogo. Wewe